And there you have it, the national anthem and the opening prayer. While we were doing pregame, the coin toss happened. We didn't get a chance to see it, but it looks like the Lions are going to be starting the year on defense. How do you feel about that, Tim?
Well, I mean, that's what you got to test, right? I mean, we know that this offense has a lot of weapons, so I like getting your defense out there early, see what they can do. They had some struggles last year, so you know what? Welcome to 2017. Get out there and prove it's a new year.
Tariq Gray and Justin Barrera back returning for the Yellowjackets. And we see new kicker on the year for the Lions, Talong Humung. Coaches call him TH. I'm going to side with the coaches in this one and use that nickname. That's one of my favorites to kick off for the Lions. The Lions are set as TH kicks it off, and we are underway here for the 2017 season. Back into the end zone, and he's going to take a knee for a touchback. Melvin Thompson thought better about it and decided to start the ball in favorable territory here for the Yellowjackets.
And so now coming out onto the field, the Howard Payne Yellowjackets. Again, they lost last year to the Lions 27-21 at home. They actually held an 18-7 lead at the half before that slipped away. Talk about in pregame. They had struggles in the second half. So did the Lions last year. The Lions were in a lot of games, led a lot of games that they ended up losing in the second half. So these are two teams that, you know, don't judge everything in the first half here. See what happens in the second half as it goes on. As onto the field comes Kason Monteith. He's number 10 on your screen as quarterback of the Howard Payne Yellowjackets.
He starts out with two backs in the backfield and the shotgun, and we get some motion here to start the game. SAGU adjusts accordingly. One back to his right, and he's going to pitch it to the outside. They're going to start the game off on a run play. Leiter tried to extend the end, but that's going to be a gain of about 7 yards to start the game. This time for Kadrian Latson gets the first carry of the year for the Yellowjackets.
He just does a good job cutting back and extending the play out, waiting for that hole to open and shooting through it to pick up around 7 yards on first down.
Running a little bit of no-huddle offense here. 2nd and 3. As Monteith in the shotgun sends Latson in motion. He's going to drop back to pass. It's going to be a screenplay. They set it up and read perfectly by Carl Morgan, the returning corner for the SAGU Lions. Read that like a book.
That was perfect because that's one of those plays where you let the defensive line in, letting them think they've gotten away with something. You dump it up underneath. Typically you pick up more than that, but Carl Morgan does a great job shutting it down and brings up a 3rd and short here. Just laying the shoulder down, textbook tackle, not letting the receiver pick up those extra few yards. So it is 3rd and 2.
Monteith with Latson to his left. In motion comes Justin Barrera. And they're going to put it right up the middle, and they got just enough for the first down as they tested the SAGU run defense and convert.
And that's what you want to do on your very first drive. You hate to come out and have a 3 and out. That's a good run to pick up 3 yards and the first.
Monteith now back to pass, goes to the outside of the flats. And Pruitt, Elijah Pruitt with a nice open field tackle on Eric Haverstock, the big halfback, 210 pounds in the flat.
And Matt Williams comes in to finish up the tackle as well. Again, 2-man tackle there, just about a gain of 2, bringing up 2nd and about 8.
Monteith still running this no-huddle offense back in the shotgun. We expect to see that all game from both sides. By the Yellowjackets and the Lions.
Not a whole lot of breathing for these two teams.
Latson to his right. Monteith takes the snap. Play action pass over the middle. He finds Haverstock again, and he's got enough yardage for a first down.
And Haverstock just does a great job of finding his open spot there. Gets in between 3 Lions defenders. Gets the pass, picks up about 9 yards. It's a first down at midfield. And Howard Payne is moving the ball pretty effectively here earlier, and that was a good play-action pass because you see those 3 defenders just kind of frozen in place, not sure what to do, gets that brief delay and picks up the first down.
Brought down by Landon Jones. Monteith in motion. Pitches it to Latson again. The SAGU defense trying to string it out, and they do. Elijah Pruitt making initial contact, followed up again by Landon Jones.
SAGU Lions doing a pretty good job when they get hands on the running back so far or the wide receivers, not letting them pick up any extra yards. They're actually going to mark that for a loss of 1, so they put them back into their own territory.
2nd and 11 here as the Howard Payne offense slows down a little bit. Gets a play call. Latson still in the backfield with Monteith. 2 receivers to his right. And he's going to keep it himself. Monteith now bounces it to the outside. Matt Williams and Carl Morgan tag teaming for another good tackle there as he tried to get it to the outside, stretching the play.
And I like again, what we said a moment ago, what we're seeing so far, no broken tackles for the Lions, really not over pursuing any of these players. When they're getting hands on Yellow Jackets, they are bringing them down. Brings up a 3rd and long here, right around midfield.
This is going to be the first real test of the arm we may see here from Monteith. He steps back to pass. Leiter tries to get her on the edge. And Monteith now looking back across the middle, and it's short, incomplete pass. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Matt Leiter coming with the pressure, and he's pretty close to an all-time SAGU mark. Talk about that, Adam.
Spoke to him a couple of weeks ago at the SAGU scrimmage. He said he is 2 sacks short of the all-time SAGU record set by recent SAGU grad Devon Brown, who came over from Abilene Christian, who set the record 2 years ago.
So it hasn't actually stood for ages,
no.
But he's looking to, I'd imagine he's getting 3 sacks this year when you see pressure that early on.
Wearing the number 7 worn by All-American Ethan Eastwood last year, we see that number make its bounces around that just a core group of friends as the punt is off here, and it's going to be short. Getting away from it are the Lions, and that's going to be downed just at the 20-yard line, essentially same thing as a touchback.
Yeah, took a little bit of a Yellow Jacket roll. Samuel Northey was back to receive. He doesn't get a chance to on the first punt. And now CJ Collins, for the first time since November 2015, steps on to the Lumpkins field to play for the Lions. Again, both games last year that he played in were on the road. So for the first time, he's back home. It was a long road back from injury. Let's see how he responds. Also into the game, J.P. Lowry at running back. We'll be seeing Lowry and Bickham switch in and out all night long, though.
Collins in the shotgun as usual. Lowry to his right. Back to pass on the first play. Gets it out to Dotson. Dotson makes a move. And does he have first down yardage? They're going to give it to him. A gain of just about 11 yards on the first play. Quick play there for SAGU.
And that was something we noted in the scrimmage, I believe, with Dotson. Just does such a good job of getting the ball and extending for those extra 2 or 3 yards. He was brought down around after about an 8-yard gain, turns it into an 11, first down up at the 30.
Collins now in the Lions offense running a little bit no huddle of their own. Lowry to his left. Play action, quick pass out to Roderick Brown Jr., and he's going to duck out of bounds about 9 yards there.
2 passes out to his left so far. CJ Collins, both very safe passes, but both picking up quick. 14 yards. They're going to mark that actually a 4-yard gain.
As he stepped out of bounds a little earlier than we thought. Collins now in looks to be like a pistol formation with Lowry directly behind him. This is something new. Wide snap, play action pass. Collins gets away from the pressure, and he's going to take off and run. Flag on the play as he falls down. For the time being, has first down yardage. We'll see what this penalty is.
Flags seem to be in the vicinity of holding, but we will see. And it is a hold on the line, so that will erase.
The good run by Collins.
It was a good run. It was especially with the defender coming off to the side, which honestly might have been when the holding occurred. We did a good job of spinning out, seeing that he had no open receivers and picking up a first down briefly before it was taken away from him. Now going to set up a 2nd 16. But first 3 plays with CJ Collins out there, 2 completions, a run for a first down. Not that's taken away obviously now, but not a bad start for a guy who hasn't played football in nearly 12 months.
Collins now, like you said, 2nd and 16. Lowry to his right. And he's going to drop back and pass again off the play action. He finds Stephen Lawson. Stephen Lawson tries to make the first man miss, but he gets back a good amount of yardage there, setting up a 3rd and short.
And that's a great play call. Defense think and run, pick up a few extra yards, set up a 3rd down. Does a good job of selling that play action, drops it off underneath. And the Lions have a much more manageable 3rd down here, 3rd and 3 around the 37-yard line. 40-yard line is what they are looking for. Lowry still in the game for the Lions at running back.
And we do see them use pretty much 1 running back per drive. We may see Bickham come out in the 2nd drive as we're going to get a timeout by the SAGU offense. Not a situation where you want to burn your first timeout.
Yeah, you probably don't want to use it this early, but you also see this as a moment, make sure you group up, get the right play in. You got a chance to, your defense has already got to stop. So you have a chance to take over the game early on, get an early score. So just kind of clarify things. Make sure, you know, you're still figuring out communication here in the first, you know, the first game, figuring out exactly how to get the play calls in sometimes. So, but it will be 3rd and 3.
Well, while we wait for SAGU to kind of gather its ground here, Collins, 3 for 3 to start the game. 3 relatively safe passes, a couple off of play action. It doesn't look like they're letting him loose quite yet to kind of throw the ball down the field. And
at this point in the game, there's no reason to let your quarterback too loose yet. The wind is at his back to start the game off, so that's a good place to be. You know, obviously, if this game's tight in the 4th quarter, you're needing some long 3rd down conversions, then we might see exactly where C.J. Collins is right now, just laying down some precision passes, doing what the coaches are asking him to do.
Collins in shotgun again, Lowry to his left. He's going to drop back and pass, quick route across the middle, and it's dropped by Roderick Brown Jr. And that had first down yardage written all over it, just could not haul it in.
And that was just another set play. Brown's running the slant over the middle, hits him right in the hands, goes through, hits him in the chest, pops out. Don't want to see that happen because that was going to be an easy first down for the Lions. Instead, it's going to be a punt and a new punter for the Lions as well. Maverick Montiel comes in. Chad Deeren, obviously last year, was the punter and kicker for the Lions. He's now gone. So now we have 2 players taking this job. So congratulations, Chad. You took 2 men to replace you if you're watching out there.
The punt is off. Justin Barrera back to field it. He's going to field it cleanly, trying to get around the side. Carl Morgan gets his hands on him and whips him out of bounds.
That is just a great tackle. You got a blocker on you, kind of affecting where you're trying to get, fighting through the blocker, getting a hold of him, and both on defense and special teams right now, Lions doing a great job wrapping up, not letting any extra yardage appear. Just watch Carl Morgan here, gets a hold, wraps him up, throws him. That's just a strong tackle right there on a special teams play, and keeps the Yellowjackets at their 26, right about where they started the last drive on the 25. So the SAGU defense back on the field for the 2nd time, 9:41 here in the 1st quarter.
Monteith in the shotgun again, back to pass. Carl Morgan jumps the route, and he may have a pick 6. Morgan inside the 5, touchdown for the SAGU Lions. Flag on the play. We will see what this is. It is at about the original line of scrimmage.
If you're SAGU, you're hoping that's a hold because it's in the vicinity of a hold. Wait on the call. If not, Carl Morgan. Chop block on the Jackets. So it is Carl Morgan with the pick 6. The Lions strike first in 2017. How about back-to-back plays for Carl Morgan there, taking it to the house. Just not a great throw there by Monteith. Just sold it a little too much. The defenders in the vicinity of that chalk block, they were really trying to block out that direction, clear a path for Monteith to get the pass out there. Think he telegraphed that a little too much. Morgan read it all the way, and with 9:35 left in the 1st quarter, we have our first points of 2017, and it's a defensive touchdown. I wouldn't have picked that more than likely.
Pick 6 for the first points of 2017. Here we see TH on for the extra point. We'll see how he handles his first shot of the year. It's up, and it is good. SAGU takes a 7-0 lead off the fantastic play by the senior cornerback, who also is shooting for a SAGU record. I'm not sure how many he needs, how many interceptions he needs for the all-time record, but hey, that one's a good start.
He needs 1 fewer. And again, you see that right there, Monteith just selling that a little too much, just telegraphing a little bit too much. His eyes locked in on his receiver, never really wavered from that spot. And Carl Morgan said, you know what, I think you're throwing it this way. I'm going to go ahead and jump this route. And once he had a hold of it, there was not a chance of stopping it. So SAGU defense on the field twice. They force a punt. They get a pick 6. You can't ask for much more than that to start the year.
The Lions wanted to set the tone to start the game on defense, and they have 2 series, 1 stop, and then, of course, what you just saw, the interception for a touchdown by Carl Morgan as SAGU gets prepared to come back out on the defensive side of the ball. As TH sets to kick off again. We saw a good one by him last time. We used to see Chad Deeren put the ball through the end zone, and TH was able to get it down in the corner for a touchback.
Yeah, and put it in that spot that you really can't return it from. So now, as we were talking about in pregame, you've lost 23 of 24. You're coming off an 0-10 season. I said it, bad things are going to happen because it's a football game. Bad things happen to every team. What does Kason Monteith do now that you've had your first real mistake of 2017? How do you respond? This kid's going to be a little bit shorter.
Still in the end zone, though. He's going to bring it out. and breaks the SAGU tackles. He's going to bring it out just shy of the 25. That was Melvin Thompson who fielded the kickoff in the first kickoff and took a knee in the end zone. SAGU looked like they had him wrapped up there at about the 15.
Did a good job. Thompson does a good job of breaking a tackle at around the 15, 16-yard line and getting up to 24, basically where he would have got if he had the touchback. That's always so tempting, though, and I love putting kicks right inside the one. And now there appears to be a penalty on the Lions. There was, it might have been a sideline warning. I believe we had a sideline warning for the Lions, so it was not a penalty, but a sideline warning. That will result in a penalty next time. Yeah, you see the coaches going up and down the sideline, running. Hey, step back. We're all excited. We just got to pick 6, but everybody calm down.
That's why every team needs to have a get-back coach.
I think every team needs 6 get-back coaches.
Monteith now in the shotgun, hands it off, and he bounces it to the outside. And we're going to have a flag on the play, but that was Kadrian Latson with a pretty good carry. We'll see what the call is here. It looks like it's in, again, the vicinity of holding, and it will be a holding call.
Holding call, so that's going to erase a pretty good run by Latson. And again, he on the first drive, he had a good run to really kind of get that drive rolling at first. Some good decision making. You see just kind of popping inside, picking up an extra 3 or 4 yards, but it does get erased on a hold. So a couple of penalties now on the Yellowjackets, obviously the one that didn't get enforced on the pick 6.
Bryce Bailey had the initial tackle of freshman, another one of these young defensive backs for this Lions squad. Now, 1st and 20, they're going to set up a screenplay. Morgan is there to blow it up, and he forces the fumble. The SAGU Lions are going to recover inside the 5. Matt Williams recovers the Carl Morgan strip.
It is the Carl Morgan show right here in Waxahachie. A pick 6, a forced fumble at around the 10-yard line. It's going to set the Lions up with 1st and goal at the 4. And that one had danger written all over it. It was almost intercepted at first. Morgan just wrapping him up, getting a hold of that ball, throwing it loose. Picked up by Williams. If he could have kept his footing, he has another touchdown. Instead, Lions offense is cooking. Just 4 yards out from the end zone.
And we see a heavy package in now. Matt Leiter, the defensive end, is in at H-back. J.P. Lowry in the backfield with Collins. They're going to hand it off. Lowry up the middle. Easy touchdown as he walks in. SAGU.
I think he walked in untouched. The only player he hit was his own offensive lineman kind of spinning off of him. So just like that, in the last 40 seconds, this game has gone from tied to the Lions pending an extra point up by 2 touchdowns.
Carl Morgan, who would have thought the spark plug would have been on defense for the Lions, but Morgan setting up that touchdown, outscoring one of his own previously.
And that was just a gaping hole there on 1st and goal. You know, Lowry could have walked in from the 8-yard line, not a problem. Kick from TH is up and good, and it is 14-0 as we are just around 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter. And write your thank you letters to Carl Morgan if you are the Lions offense.
Tim, I think you could have walked through that hole into the end zone.
You know, I would hope so. I would hope so. I would hope I could hang on to the ball for that long, you know. But I mean, Carl Morgan turned this game around. Starting your senior year off with a bang. Pencil him in for player of the game with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. So that's still an eternity.
I would say he's a strong candidate at this point.
So now Howard Payne. I was asking a second ago, how do you respond? Well, that wasn't the way. And really on that fumble, as I said, that was a dangerous play from the beginning. SAGU had read it. You're trying to run a bubble screen, and the only bubble he had was SAGU players all around him. It was nearly tipped at the line, so not the best play. But again, set up by a penalty. You had a decent run on 1st down from Kadrian Latson. A bad holding penalty brings it back, and now you find yourself in a 14-point hole. So the test really begins now for Monteith and the Yellowjackets.
TH set to kick it off here. See if he can get in the end zone again. He's got the wind at his back. It is up, and it's a strong one. That's going to get over the head and out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. New kicker, sophomore Talung Hamung, TH, showing off the leg strength.
Sophomore from Louisville, Texas. And yeah, so far, 2 for 2 on extra points. 3 strong kickoffs. So some familiar faces with big plays, some new faces already showing off some of their new skills.
And I do see Chad Deeren on the sidelines down there with former SAGU great Vanique Benton. I wonder what they think so far this start.
I mean, you can't complain. 6 minutes into the season and you're ahead by 2 touchdowns. And you love what you're seeing from your defense. As we said, get your defense out there early. Well, they've been tested 3 times, and they've aced all 3.
Monteith sets up in the shotgun again, running back to his left or to his right, gives it up the middle to Latson, and Latson meets a brick wall.
Tackle number 96, Darnell Martin, wrapping him up. Not a single chance there. There was no hole, no future for that play.
Monteith, a no huddle again. Latson now to his left.
SAGU's been showing blitz early on here. They've been backing off from it each time, but don't be surprised if you see a jailhouse break here in a second.
Play action, back to pass. He's going to roll. He's going to take off up the middle. He makes a man miss, and he comes up just past the first down marker is Monteith.
That's some good awareness in the field by Monteith. Looked like he was going to slide, and I think he kind of identified where he was on the field and said, you know what, go ahead and cut back inside, get the extra 2 or 3 yards, pick up the first down at around the 35-yard line.
He had a couple of men miss. There's the mobility of the fine quarterback from Howard Payne. Hunter Batten in the backfield with Monteith, the big running back. They're going to hand it off to him up the middle, and again meets a brick wall. This time again, number 96, Darnell Martin. I've heard good things about him and how fast he is on the defensive line and how he can plug up the middle.
And he's plugged it twice on this drive already. He's kind of coming over the top. He's kind of an over-the-back tackle there, so not even prime positioning for him, but does a good job of knocking the running back down as the Lions continue to wrap up Yellowjackets when it comes to tackling.
Monteith keeps it. Maybe should have given it off there on the read option to Melvin Thompson.
And there again is Darnell Martin without a hat coming up the middle and making the tackle. He has to check out for a play now, but he's done his job.
He deserves a little break here. Now it's going to be 3rd and 8 as the Howard Payne offense has hit another stall here. We'll see if they can convert on 3rd down once again. Hunter Batten in the backfield. Still the 205-pound running back to the left of Kason Monteith. He's going to play action, back to pass. And there's going to be a flag on the play. He's going to let it go deep. Testing Carl Morgan, and it's caught. Can he get caught from behind? He cannot. He's in the end zone, but a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be a hold.
Yeah, this one is absolutely coming back, and sometimes there's good penalties and bad penalties. That's not a bad penalty because he was getting sacked. Monteith was getting sacked if it wasn't for the hold. But another penalty, look at these penalties now that set up a pick 6, and now a penalty that erases what would have been a touchdown. And okay, I say it was a good penalty, or it wasn't a bad penalty at least, but Monteith has shown the ability to evade tacklers. So a big turn of events there. See the flag.
Jordan Coleman essentially gets tackled on the play by Hunter Batten.
Yeah, Batten just grabbed a hold of him, dragged him down, and it erases what would have been around a 70-yard touchdown pass.
Beating Carl Morgan nonetheless. One-on-one coverage. Just a good throw.
Luckily that one doesn't go on his resume.
3rd and 18 now. Batten to his right. Monteith in the shotgun, stepping back to pass. He's going to hand it off for the draw. He's got some room to run. The Lions swarm quickly, and they tackle the ball carrier after about a 6-7 yard gain. No harm done there on the draw play.
Exactly. Credit the Lions defense for what they've done so far, that here are the Yellowjackets saying, you know what, we can try to go deep, try to pick up 18 or 19 yards, but so far we keep getting stung doing that. So let's just go ahead and hand off and pick up a couple yards. Maybe pick up occasionally you'll see one of those break big, but you're really thinking get better punting position. So credit what the Lions defense has been able to do so far.
Samuel Northey and Malik Golden back to return kicks for the punt here for the Lions. And the punt is going to get off without any contest, and it's straight up. It's a short one. The Lions got to be heads up here, and it's over towards the sideline. It's going to settle at about the 47-yard line. The Lions have prime field position here.
I believe Lawrence Smith touched it at a 46, so the Lions will start the drive in Yellow Jacket territory. So the second drive that the Lions offense will take the field in the opposition's territory. Obviously, the 4-yard line and the 46-yard line are a pretty big difference, but again, they have to be very happy with what the defense is giving them so far to operate. And this is a big gut check time for the Yellowjackets defense, who haven't done anything wrong, mind you. They've given them a 4-yard touchdown and nothing else.
Ricky Bickham gets his first action of the game, goes right up the middle, and is met by the middle of the Yellowjackets defense. He fights forward for about 4 yards And Bickham, the shifty running back we're used to seeing, stayed on his feet there.
It sounds so cliche with Lowry and Bickham, but it really is a case of thunder and lightning. Bickham is so quick on his feet, so fast. Doesn't get a whole lot of room to run there, but still, he's just so fast he picks up 3 yards before you can blink. So he is out here on this drive now.
2nd and 7 now. Collins in the shotgun still. Bickham to his right. He's going to play action. He's going to step back to pass. Going deep this time. He's got a man and overthrows his target, Malik Golden.
Bickham, talk about what he did on the run there, does a good job of saving this from being a disaster, though. You won't see it on this overthrow here, but Bickham did a great job of blocking an oncoming blitzing linebacker that otherwise would have easily taken down C.J. Collins at around the 50-yard line. Keeps it manageable at 3rd and 7 at the Yellow Jacket 44. So Bickham showing a little skill in the backfield to be able to block a little bit.
Roderick Brown Jr., the target on that pass, not Golden. Bickham to the right now of Collins. Collins on 3rd and 7, back to pass, deep drop, and he finds his target again, Roderick Brown Jr. He's going to take off down the sidelines, and the speed to get in the end zone, taking a quick pass all the way down from the 43 into the end zone. The Lions score again.
And Brown just does a great job finding his way open and breaking the tackle to go in. Before that, though, he had just done a great cutback to stay open. He had all sorts of daylight. It was an easy first down. What wasn't easy was breaking that tackle and going for the score. So it is a 40-plus yard touchdown pass. The Lions rolling early on as TH comes on for the extra point.
Redeeming himself off the 3rd down pass drop earlier in the game as TH puts the extra point through. Roderick Brown redeeming himself there with a nice 43-yard touchdown reception after the broken tackle. And there we go, SAGU up 21-0 here in the 1st quarter.
And we talk about how they're not really having to test CJ yet, but that's just great identification. Again, it's not a test when you have great receivers that can get open like that. Wide open, he doesn't miss his mark, he puts it right on the money, plus puts the ball in a great spot so that Brown can just catch it right at his chest, make the spin, get out of the tackle, and burst to the end zone. And he was fast. It didn't look like he was going to make the corner at first. I did not think he was going to make it, but he does. Now you look at that Howard Payne sideline, and you know, this is a big test now. You're on the road. You're down 21-0. And as I said, maybe those thoughts are creeping in of, oh, here we go again. This is what it was like all last year. This is, we're snake bit. So now you got to rally together. You got all game still. There's still 5 minutes left in the 1st quarter. You have got 50 minutes of football ahead of you, which is that a relief or a death sentence right now? That's what you're about to find out if you're the Yellow Jackets.
This is a big drive for Howard Payne. The kick is up, and it is again into the end zone. And he's going to take another knee and a touchback for the Lions kicking team.
Yeah, nothing but positive results from TH. And you look at those stats, 21-0. The Lions with only 80 offensive yards, but 2 turnovers from the Yellow Jackets. And look at those penalties. 2 penalties for 20 yards, both very big penalties. One erased a run. The next pass was the pick 6. The other erases a big touchdown pass. So 2 very big penalties, 2 even bigger turnovers. Those 2 turnovers are the story of the game because they essentially, one's a pick 6 and one might as well be a fumble return for a touchdown when you're recovering
inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, if the offense doesn't score on that, I mean, come on. So
Monteith in the shotgun again, hands it up to Latson. He's going to fight his way for about 4 yards to about the 29. This game could very easily be, well, I would say the Yellow Jackets could very well have 7 points. Again, you said that touchdown pass wiped away by that holding call.
Yeah, and it was a great pass, too. It was a beautiful pass. Did a great job of getting past, at the moment, a great star of the game, Carl Morgan, for the touchdown. But, yeah, it's not been good outside of that play, and that wasn't even a good play because you erased it.
And hand it off again to Latson. He's going to fall forward and get 1st down yardage.
And Latson has been good at running the ball so far, and you see them kind of settling down, saying, all right, let's go with Latson. Let's see what he can do, since everything else isn't really working at the moment. He picks up the 1st down.
Still the no huddle as they go over and look at the coach for the play call here in the shotgun, 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Latson just a very intelligent runner, too. Does a good job of finding exactly where to run.
He hands it off again and is met this time by the SAGU defensive line.
Doesn't matter how smart you are. If there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to run.
Darnell Martin and Paul Ellis, another senior in Ellis there to come together for the tackle, leading to no gain.
And maybe we're seeing a little bit of experience on this SAGU line right now. They're acting very smart. They're wrapping players up. They're not, not over pursuing. We were worried about the little bit in pregame, but they over pursue. No over pursuit so far. Just keeping the guy with the ball right between their eyes.
Oh, bad snap over the head, but we're going to get a flag.
That's a false start that saves you right there. It's going to be a false start on the Yellowjackets. But if you're the Yellowjackets, you will take that false start over snapping the ball over Monteith's head anytime, because that's potentially a turnover. At the very least, that's going to end up being a 15-yard loss. Yeah, it just flinches a little bit. The center goes right over his head, and it looked like it might have been Matt Leiter who was coming in to finish up the job if the flag hadn't been thrown.
That would have been a give-me sack for Leiter. That would have just chipped away at that record.
But it'll set up a 2nd and long now.
2nd and 15. More flags come out as the handoff this time was to Tariq Gray, trying to get the little speedster freshman from Henderson, Texas, around the edge, and the Lions do not allow it. Again, another flag here.
Imagine this illegal formation, illegal motion. Yep. And the Lions might decline this. Bring up the 3rd and long, and they will decline it. Sometimes it's better when you only give up a yard or two. So you know what? I feel pretty confident with how we're doing on a 3rd and what is about 16 here. It looks like 3rd and about 13. So go ahead and take that. No reason to take the extra penalty. It was only a 5-yard penalty anyway. Sometimes you take the down.
Kason Monteith, one running back to his right. That is, looks like it's Brett Martinez in the backfield with him. Moves over to his left. He's going to play action pass. He's going to take off here around the outside. In pursuit is Marco Matthews. Matthews chases him out of bounds. Doesn't quite get back enough yardage for a first down. It's going to be about 4th and 5.
Yeah, he has his angle here. He's running for it. But Matthews just pursues fast enough to cut off any outlet. And it looks like the Yellowjackets are thinking about going for it, but now they will bring on the punt unit. Probably still just a little bit too early to go for it at this point, especially when it's 4th and 4, 4th and 5.
You never know, because Monteith is the punter.
That helps. That helps if you're thinking about it. And the Lions actually have a couple of guys off the line, so maybe they're kind of thinking the same thing on this play.
And we get a flag. I think this may be a timeout by SAGU.
Delay
a game. They're going to
take
the 5 yards maybe.
They spent too long trying to decide whether they were going to go for it or not. So that probably erases any option of a fake, as we might have been seeing there for a second.
I thought SAGU may have called a timeout because they didn't like the way it looked. But now 4th and 9. Monteith still back to punt.
High snap.
He's going to get it off. SAGU's got to be careful. He's got room to run on these punts. They don't rush at all. A good job to come up and make the catch that time by the SAGU return man, Samuel Northey.
Very good awareness there, because that's one of those situations you say, you know what, call fair catch, get underneath it, down the ball at the 45-yard line. If you let that bounce, and that looked like it had the trajectory of a ball that's going to bounce, get down to the 30, 25-yard line, so potentially saving your team 20 yards there. And obviously if it bounces off your chest and it gets recovered, then it's a dumb decision.
Yes.
But he made the right decision because he held on to the ball. If you can trust yourself to hang on to the ball, you can always make the right decision.
Ricky Bickham back in the backfield for the 2nd straight drive. Collins and shotgun.
Looks like they're going 2-2 so far. Lowry for the first 2 and Bickham for the next 2.
And we're going to get a flag here.
Motion up front by the Jackets. I think I got the Lions a little skittish. Somebody jumped.
That is indeed the call. False start against the Lions, moves them 5 yards back.
I believe that's the first penalty of the Lions in the game, or no? They had a hold earlier too.
Yes, they did. Yeah, on the C.J. Collins run, almost for a first down. Collins with Bickham to his right is going to play action, get it out to Brown. Brown gets swallowed up quickly on the play action screenplay. And that's going to bring up second and about 15. They gained no yardage on that play.
That's Jordan Smith wrapping him up. Good job, because that's one of those, the other receivers doing a great job blocking. So if you let him loose, he's got the sideline. He's got a long ways to go. So great job, one-man tackling job to allow no gain on the play. Jordan Smith from Tatum, Texas, freshman.
Collins back to pass, deep drop, flag on the play, finds his man Dotson. Dotson, for the time being, looks like he has just enough for a first down, but there is a flag on the play.
There's actually two flags. One is on the right side of the field, the other is in the middle. It's possible that is for the exact same thing. Yellowjackets definitely responding like it's on the Lions, and the Lions are walking back. It is a hold. So 2 penalties on this drive. An illegal man downfield as well. That won't be declined.
And it's going to be about second and 25 here on the Lions. Going backwards after the momentum they had, this could be a little win here for the Yellowjackets, and they could use this.
The big thing is your offense is on the sideline getting a breather, because the Lions have scored so fast. You had a pick 6, you had a 4-yard touchdown, you had a quick drive from the 45, so you get a little bit of breath for the offense. And now the Lions facing second and 25, second and quarter of the field.
Collins now back to pass, going to go to his left. He finds Brown. Brown's got some room, gets it to the outside. Could he have another one? Brown looks like he stepped out of bounds, tried to make a move back inside, but a brilliant yards after the catch there for Brown.
Almost the exact same scenario as the touchdown, just a little bit further inside. So fast. Brown is just so fast. And he did. He almost had that last defender beat for his second touchdown. That would have been a big one. But as it is, the Lions erase a second and 25 on a huge gain down to the Jackets 35. And man, talk about the game that Brown's having right now.
Collins hands it off to Bickham. Bickham breaks it to the outside.
He's gone.
He is gone. You are not catching him. Ricky Bickham untouched from the 35 for a touchdown. Lions are rolling.
So just like that, the Lions go 75 yards in the blink of an eye. All that momentum talk we were talking about on 2 straight penalties is gone, as possibly 2 of the fastest guys on the field, with Roderick Brown and Ricky Bickham doing all the damage. And once Bickham had that hole and he got to that corner, it was over. I would like to see anybody in a foot race chase down Ricky Bickham.
TH on for the extra point, trying to put SAGU up 28-0 in the first quarter, and he does just that. 20 seconds left in quarter number 1, and SAGU with a 28-0 lead.
And just look at that hole. I mean, there were 2 holes. Bickham had the choice of 2 holes. One would have netted about 25 yards to the 10. The other was the touchdown. So, I mean, really wasn't a bad decision to make there, just a much better decision. There was nobody in front of him. Looked at the top there. He's gone.
He
just
picked the right
absolutely
one.
Gone. Now, there's not a Yellow Jacket defender in the frame there. Offensive line having their way, obviously with the Lowry touchdown early on at the 4. They gave him such a hole and gave Bickham just a canyon to run through right there. And the Lions are dominating. It's safe to say now, as we reach the end of the first quarter, that we are witnessing total domination. Outside of the Lions' first offensive drive where they had to punt, the teams exchanged punts to start the game off. Then we had the pick 6, and since then it has turned into nothing but a SAGU rout. 28-0, and there's still 20 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
TH to kick off again, still with the wind at his back. He gets it off, and it looks to be another good kick. He's going to take it a yard deep in the end zone and bring it out. He's trying to get it back up the middle of the field, and a good open field tackle there by the Lions kicking team. Darian Carter, a running back, making his presence felt on special teams.
And if you're looking for silver linings for the Yellow Jackets, you've done a decent job returning kicks out to the 25. I mean, you always hate if you take the ball out of the end zone to not at least get out to the 25, and Melvin Thompson does just that, spinning out, getting a few extra yards, but then once he was wrapped up, there was no chance. So now with 13 seconds left,
SAGU defense back on the field. still looks to have all the starters in. They don't want to let any kind of momentum happen here for the Yellowjackets.
Oh, I can't imagine that we're going to see anything change until much later in this game. There's still 3 whole quarters to play.
And hand it off and go up the middle, and he is met again. SAGU doing a good job of neutralizing the running game as he gets about 2.5, maybe 3 yards on the carry. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. SAGU goes up 28-0 on fantastic defensive play and some big runs after the catch for Roderick Brown.
Yeah, it's really been these 9 minutes because the game started, Howard Payne had to punt, the Lions ended up punting back, and then once the pick 6 happened, everything just changed. You got the pick 6 and then the fumble. Really, I guess that was probably in a span of around 40 seconds. Goes from a tie ball game at 0 apiece to 14-0. And yeah, Roderick Brown has been the star since then. He got the amazing catch on what I believe was a 2nd down to take it. No, that was a 3rd down that the touchdown was on, and then a 2nd and 25. Look at some action around the CSFL here. Lane College beats Texas College 20-0. Austin College up in Sherman beats Bacone 18.
What's on your mind, Bacon?
I am better than that. I have been calling CSFL games for way too long to say Bacon. That's terrible of me. And Texas Wesleyan, in their first football game ever, this is their first year with the football program, they fall to McPherson 43-14. And Langston, who obviously ranked number 2 in the CSFL to start the season out, opens with a 30-14 win. So there's your action. And if you're always that person who's scoreboard watching and rooting against CSFL teams, just kind of hoping to keep a nose ahead, although it doesn't really matter for conference, 3 of the 4 CFL teams lose there.
Now with the wind at the back, we'll see if they try to take a shot downfield. They are going to take a shot. He's going deep and overthrows his man by 10 to 15 yards. Had Tariq Gray, one of the faster players on the Yellowjackets, and Monteith just overthrows him, but there's a flag on the play.
Gray did have a good step. It's going to be a hold on the Jackets. Lions debating whether to accept it or not.
Would be a 2nd and 17 or a 3rd and 7.
And they will go ahead and accept it, move them back 10 yards. So even again, one of those situations where even if they had been able to complete the pass and have the big play, it wouldn't have mattered. Just all the wrong things happening at all the wrong times for the Yellowjackets at the moment. They find themselves in a 4-touchdown hole and now facing a 2nd and 17 at their own 18-yard line.
Monteith still in the shotgun with 1 man to his right, 3 receivers out to his left. Look for him to look that way or maybe try to take advantage of that one-on-one coverage at the top of your screen. Monteith puts his man to his left now. And he is back to pass. Getting it out to the flats. He's got his man, Justin Barrera. Pruitt misses a tackle, but he's got 4 to 5 guys there to make his, or to get his back, and they bring him down for a gain of 6 or 7 on that play.
And that's really good defense because when Barrera first got the ball, there's nobody within sight. The quick pursuit to make that only a 7-yard gain and set up a 3rd and 10. I thought when he got a hold of it, I thought, oh, this could be a 1st down. This is exactly what they wanted. He was all alone out there. SAGU defense quick to respond and limits the damage on that one, setting up a 3rd and long.
Monteith facing a 3rd and 10 here. Play action, rolling out to his right. And another flag comes out as he floats it down the field and almost finds his man. Almost an incredible catch by Austin Miller, diving backwards, but gets broken up by the safety, Matt Williams, and another holding penalty, Tim.
Another holding call. Howard Payne's offensive line really struggling to hold off this SAGU defensive line who's been very good so far. And that was just really almost appeared to be more of a broken play. When you got 3 Lions chasing down Monteith, you got a lot of offensive linemen just trying to grab a hold and prevent the sack. Give them that. They haven't given up a sack yet, so.
We saw Malik Golden with his first target of the game, and he did a good job of staying with the receiver and getting a hand on the ball as they get ready to punt it off here. Oh, this time they bring pressure and almost get the block. And coming up, may have touched his foot. He's got to get on it, and he's got some room here to run. Down the sideline, can't make the last man miss. There's a flag out. That was Malik Golden. It looked like it may have hit him on the foot off the initial bounce.
It was hard to tell from this angle, but the way he got on it makes me think it did. So good way to avert disaster. Picks up a nice gain after picking up the ball. I believe some of it is going to come back here.
block in the back was the call against the Lions. They're going to lose a little bit of yardage here that they gained on that punt return.
Looks like they're marking the block at about the 45 of Howard Payne, so they'll probably move the ball back to SAGU's 45. But yeah, if that ball did hit Golden's foot, great recovery to get on it. And actually they're going to mark it at about the 50, so it's, or even earlier than that. Wow. At around the 48. So
on a muffed return like that, it's hard to, it looked like it may have happened right from the initial start. It's hard to get anything going, and it looks like they just kind of threw their body at somebody and just kind of bad luck hit him in the back.
And the truth is, if you see the ball bouncing loose like that, if it did happen after that, you do whatever you can. You take whatever penalty you can to prevent the turnover. That's the one thing you can't have right now when you're in total control of the game.
Here's Collins handing it off to J.P. Lowry, bounces it outside, uses the stiff arm, and it's a good one as he battles. It turns nothing into about 4 yards there, 3-4 yards off the stiff arm.
It's amazing how thankful you can be for a 3-yard gain when the defense is perfectly matched what you're doing. Lowry just fights, stays on his feet the whole way, doesn't get brought down. It's finally forced out of bounds. That's one of those plays, if the sideline was boundless, he would have just kept on going until forever.
Collins now with Lowry. He's going to hand it. Oh, he's going to go play action. Try to get it across the middle to Lawson, and it was a little behind him. And this has really been the first time we've seen Collins a little bit off target with his receiver not on the same page.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication. Thought he might have been a step behind where he was supposed to be. Brings up a 3rd and 7. Which the Lions so far has done a pretty good job of converting whenever it's come up.
They've got one corner guarding 2 guys here at the bottom of the screen. I wonder if they're going to try to throw one of these screen plays. 3rd and 7 for Collins. Man to his right, and Lowry fakes the run, steps back to pass, going deep. He's got his man, Jeremy Carr, brings it in. Will he get caught? He will not. Touchdown Lions. C.J. Collins to Jeremy Carr. Reminds me a little bit of 2015.
That was perfect. Carr was wide open, and you wonder if maybe a little bit of that interesting lineup with the splits, the 2 backed up right on the right there, if that didn't freeze some defenders thinking exactly what you were saying, a screenplay, but it is a bomb.
There we see Collins really air it out for the first time and make the connection.
The safety's just looking over their shoulders going, oh, I thought that was your guy. Carr to the end zone. Kick is up, and it is good, and it is 35-0 Lions. And that's the first time we've seen CJ really unleash it. There's been a lot of underneath stuff, real smart plays, but you can't miss that one with Carr that wide open. And a minute and a half about into the second quarter, nothing changing so far. You thought the wind changing might have kind of, helped the Yellowjackets out. It has not. 35-0 Lions. Couldn't ask for a better way to start this season for SAGU after coming off, well, what you would probably mark as a disappointing season. When you come off of an 8-3 year, when you win the Victory Bowl, and you lose your quarterback in game 2 of the year, and you had to scrap the whole rest of the way. You get to 4-6, and you honestly have to feel a little bit good about that considering the circumstances you were put in. This is how you want to start a year off against a team that this time last year you were behind 18-7 going into the half, and now with 13:36 left to play in the second quarter, you're ahead 35-0.
It's got to feel good again to be playing this well against a team that always plays you close. As TH gets set to kick it off again. Busy day here for the kicker for SAGU.
If you wanted to get to know your new kicker, you're getting all your chances. Wind in his face now, and he's just going to pooch this one short.
Yeah. We'll see if SAGU can bring down the ball carrier. He bounces it to the outside to the far sideline, and that is a swarm of SAGU tacklers as he gets taken down. Finally, Kadrion Latson takes it to the far side of the field, brought down by Matt Clemens, a senior defensive back here for the Lions.
It took a little while to finally get to Latson, but we've seen him all game just be able to make good decisions. He fights all the way to the outside, but after all that, it's only really a pickup of about 8, so they have the ball at the 33-yard line.
Exciting kick return, though.
And yeah, interesting decision. It almost seemed intentional by TH, knowing that the strong wind is in his face now. Just go ahead and drop it off short. see what can happen. We've seen it happen before. The ball just kind of bounces loose.
Monteith hands it off to his big running back, Hunter Batten, and he's going to carry a couple of SAGU defenders for about 1.5 yards extra after the first down, and that's going to be a quick 11, 12 yards to start this drive.
He had Matt Williams hanging onto his back and was still powering forward. That is not an easy assignment.
And the no-huddle offense here is Monteith again. With Batten to his right, he's going to look over to the coach and get a play here. 2 receivers out wide to his right, 1 to his left. He's got Tariq Gray. It's single coverage here against Carl Morgan. That's an interesting matchup.
Long look over to the sideline, trying to get a play in here.
Batten's going to move over to the other side of Monteith. And he's going to hand it off again. Here's Batten right into the teeth of the defense, and he keeps falling forward for about 4 yards. Ugly running there by Batten, but it works.
And if you're the Yellowjackets, you're just looking for anything that works right now. Everything you've tried has finally blown up in your face, but back-to-back runs there have been more successful, than what you've tried in the past. Hunter Batten, just a freshman running back, but looking pretty good on those 2 runs.
Monteith fakes it to, or gives it to Batten this time. He's going to bounce to the outside and throw a stiff arm in the face of Matt Williams. And again, carries the SAGU safety, who comes up with the ball, tried to convince the ref that he stripped it there at the end of the play, but another first down.
Pretty sure Batten was down by that point, but yeah, Batten breaking the tackle in the backfield, stiff arm to the outside, carrying some defenders forward, and the Yellowjackets are in SAGU territory. I believe that's their first trip to SAGU territory. They got to the 50 on the first drive, but this is their first encroachment into SAGU territory in this ball game. Just trying to find anything to turn this game around right now, and maybe the answer is Mark Batten.
Hunter Batten now to the right. Monteith still in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right. He's going to give it to Batten again and bounces it to the outside. Williams can't get there, but he chases him out of bounds. Hunter Batten providing a spark here for the Yellowjackets offense. Another first down.
He has touched the ball on every play on a drive that started at the Yellowjackets 33 and is now pushed to the SAGU 30. And every run has been successful. The Lions might need to recalibrate the defense. Now they're facing down a very different runner versus who they were playing earlier with Kadrian Latson and Brett Martinez. As it looks like the Yellowjackets are just kind of going to plan C early on here. And so far, this one is working a lot better than the first 2.
Still with the no huddle, Monteith, same formation, 2 receivers wide to his right, Batten to his right. He's going to fake the pitch and take off. Leiter misses the tackle, tries to bounce it to the outside, and he's going to pick up 6 yards on that first down carry. Fake to Batten and keep going.
Yeah, that's, did a good job freezing the defense, and we are seeing the Lions start to miss some tackles here. We have a Lion down after the play. Paul Ellis down, up on one knee down.
One of the SAGU leaders, a senior on this team, has played well all 4 years that he's been here. And it looks like he's just trying to maybe catch his breath here as both teams take a knee in respect to the fallen Lion.
But I think that's one thing that we have seen change a little bit on this drive is the Lions have not been wrapping up as well. They had a broken tackle in the backfield, and then Monteith there just doing a little bit, breaking loose with a couple tackles. It's good to see Ellis come up, walk off the field and under his own power.
Good news for Lions fans out there. Paul Ellis looks to be okay as SAGU now is facing a 2nd and 5 after a good, honestly, a good play call by Howard Payne to fake the pitch to Batten, who's been running all over the SAGU Lions defense, and keep it with Monteith, and he picks up a quick 5 yards.
Yeah, very good fake pitch that froze the Lions defense just long enough to be sure to get a 5-yard gain.
And he's going to go deep after the pump fake. Williams is there, out of bounds, overthrows everybody. We see a new running back this time, Brett Martinez. Another good play call. Looked to maybe work a little bit as he had his receiver one-on-one coverage. The pump fake to the screen, which we saw earlier, was a pick 6.
Now setting up a huge 3rd and 5. If you are the Yellowjackets, you got to convert this. You got to keep this drive alive right now.
Do you go for it on 4th down if they don't get this?
Absolutely.
Monteith
the 25, absolutely.
2 guys in motion. And he's going to hand it off to Martinez. And Martinez is going to get just enough for a first down. He needed 5, got 6.
Now there is a flag on the play.
And we see the hands of the offensive lineman go up. It looks like it's going to be holding again on the Yellowjackets.
That's just so tough. You pick up 6, you get the first down. Martinez, again, fighting forward. He was brought down, looked to be about a yard shy, but just kept turning those legs to pick up the first down. But another big Yellowjackets play erased by a hold. And now it's 3rd and 15.
And a drive that was going so well for the Yellowjackets, again, killed by penalties.
Yes. Stalls out on 1 incompletion and a penalty, and just like that, you're back at your own 35, definitely out of field goal range with a much tougher assignment ahead.
Monteith going to drop back, fake the pass, and take off. It looks like he may have enough for the first down. What a play call. It looked to be designed, a designed quarterback run.
If it was, he did a very good job of not selling it too early. Kept his eyes downfield, let the defenders back up downfield long enough to not even consider this going to be a quarterback run. He scrambles down to where they're going to mark the SAGU 17-yard line.
Just like that, the Yellowjackets keep this drive alive. Monteith doing everything he can. Again, led all categories, rushing and passing last year, as he hands it off this time to Martinez, and Martinez was hit initially after about 2 or 3 yards, but bounces forward for another one. They're going to mark him down, maybe 2nd and 6 here.
And that's one of the first times we've seen the Yellowjackets just go straight up the middle and definitively win the battle. He had some space to actually get through, and he was able to fight through for a few extra yards. The 4 yards may not be a huge victory, but most of those have been going for 1 or 2 max. So maybe the offensive line is starting to figure out their assignments a little bit better, get on their man a little bit better, and open some holes, as the Yellowjackets are trying to get on the scoreboard here.
Threatening for the first time as it's given off to Martinez again. He tries to bounce it to the outside. And we're going to get a flag on the play. A good open field tackle by who else? Darnell Martin gets his name in there again. As we have a flag, it looks to be towards the secondary. We'll see what the call is.
Another hold on the Yellowjackets.
In the secondary this time.
Setting up. Again, you're about to set up a situation where it's a 3rd and 2. Now back it up to what's going to be the 20. So it was on the secondary. Won't be as big of a loss as it would have been if had it been on the offensive line. So it'll be a 2nd and 13 at the 20 now. And when all that's working for you is running, that's just such a tough thing to happen because it's so much tougher to pick up. We saw Monty do it a second ago, but you can't count on that every single time. When you're counting on the run so much, you cannot have these holding penalties that keep moving you back.
Monteith rolling out to his right. He's going to throw it to the flats, and what looked to be almost a huge hit that time by the SAGU defensive back, Xavier Pittman, the converted wide receiver, turns into a pretty good gain here for Howard Payne.
Great job, really, by number 2, Eric Haverstock, staying on his feet. It looked like he was going to get blasted and thrown back. Able to fight through it, fall down to the 14-yard line. So whether the SAGU Lions aren't wrapping up as well, or whether Howard Payne's doing a good job breaking tackles, that's how they've kept this drive alive more than the last few, fighting through for extra yardage, setting up a 3rd and 7 now.
Monteith fakes to Martinez, back to pass, tries to look in the middle of the field, and there are 4 Lions in his face as he just chunks it and gets rid of it, bringing up a 4th and 7.
And you saw in the middle of the play there as the guy was breaking through, the offensive lineman grabs a hold of a piece of jersey and then lets go of it. That's what happens when you get that many penalties on you. You get so gun shy, you start realizing you can't get away with it, and because of that, it's a totally blown play. And the Jackets will opt for the field goal here. It'll be a 30-yard attempt.
Jacob Walters, the freshman from Willis, Texas, out to try to get the first points on the day for the Yellowjackets.
Yeah, and this is a situation, I guess, where you just want to see that 0 off the scoreboard. The kick is up. It is good. 30-yarder is good. So the Jackets are able to march down the field. Not exactly what they wanted. You want to see that touchdown, but at the very least, psychologically, that 0 is off the scoreboard. You have cut into the lead. However small, you have cut into the lead. And now you look at the scoreboard and say, okay, there's 7.5 quarter. We have all game left. We finally found some footing on offense. This is going to be an absolute mountain to climb, but at least now you've got some tools in your backpack.
to go to work with 7:28 left on the clock. This will be the first time that we see their kick return unit out on the field and back to return kicks for the Lions. It looks like it is going to be the phenomenal freshman Malik Golden, as well as Ricky Bickham back there, and Carl Morgan, who we've seen at the very beginning of this game really make a huge impact with the pick 6 to start the game off and the forced fumble, which led to another SAGU. How important is it here, Tim, for Lions and get the ball back at the half?
Oh, well, if it's let's just theoretically say a touchdown, go ahead to 3 half. I mean, that's often the pressure right now. The Lions are very they have turnover return for a touchdown or something. Start an avalanche. If you're the offense right now, it's all on the Yellowjackets. Score appears to be a tie here. Howard, maybe they had let the play down.
It did take
not where you want to have a timeout here in this half, I don't think. I mean, of course, you never know. Trying to drive late, get a and definitely not after getting the points of the game. Trotting out for what should just be a routine kickoff. Of course, I guess it isn't routine yet. They haven't had one this season.
Yes.
So maybe they had to talk it over again as they trail by 32. But yeah, like I said, I think all the pressure's on the Howard Payne defense right now. Who first drive where they locked down looked pretty good. They have been back on their heels with tough situations. The yard line, starting the drive at their own 46. The big play for the and the big bomb on the last drive. Interesting kickoff formation for the Yellowjackets.
They kick it deep. It's going to be by Morgan. And I was wondering if he had touched it. If he had touched that and it was recovered in the end zone, that would be a safety.
And I believe
it went through his hands.
I believe if he had touched it, it would have stayed live in the end zone. The Lions would have had to get on it. If they wouldn't have had the automatic touch back there, but instead they will come out to the 25.
CJ Collins makes his way back out onto the field with a 35-3 lead. JP Lowry looks like he's going to be in the backfield with them. Dotson, Carr, and Justin Allen are the receivers out wide. Pistol formation here. Collins is going to fake it to Lowry. Justin Allen with a good block.
Intercepted.
Yes, it is. Intercepted by Howard Payne, and that is not what you want to do if you're the Lions. Patrick Hunt jumps the route and picks it off. There is a flag on the play. It could be holding, but we'll see here.
The reaction is holding, and it is holding on the Lions. So as I said a moment ago, the only pressure you have is not to make a mistake. Patrick Hunt just does a great job jumping the route. The receiver had to stay in his zone a little bit too long. The ball didn't get there fast enough, and that gave Hunt the opening to cut it off. So now, the ball at the 32-yard line. You're still down 35-3, but you found some answers on offense. You get down the field. Your defense comes up huge with a quick interception. 7:21 left. All of a sudden, it seems like a little bit longer than it was a second ago. So 7:21 left in the second quarter now seems a lot longer than it was just a moment ago when it was 35-0 and Howard Payne was facing a 3rd and 15 back at their own 35.
They may be seeing a different team walk out if they can score here. Howard Payne hands it off to Latson. Latson gets a quick 6-7 yards off the carry. And SAGU's defense continues to let up gashing runs here.
Howard Payne starting to win some of those battles in the trenches that early on were going SAGU's way. Every play SAGU was winning that battle. And now Howard Payne starting to enforce their will a little bit. Lions stacking the line here.
The fake to Latson, he keeps it. Monteith tries to fight for first down yardage. Looks like he's going to be just short, bringing up 3rd and inches. Oh no, they're signaling the first down. It looks like he did get there.
Motion the chains forward. The initial spot seemed to be a little bit short, but now it's gonna be just enough down to the 22-yard line.
Monteith now with Latson to his left.
Guy who started this whole Howard Payne resurgence. Hunter Batten, it's not in the game right now. He has not been in the game since he had those 4 straight runs.
Monteith hands it off to Latson around the outside. Carl Morgan there pushes him out of bounds. That's a loss of, they're going to say a loss of 4 on the play. Morgan doing a good job of getting off the block.
Did a great job getting off the block, and Latson just kind of kept retreating back from Morgan. Never wanted to really come up and confront him. Probably should have gone ahead and tried to fight forward and get a few extra yards. Just kept stretching. But you're not going to get away from Morgan. Morgan is going to read you. And another good play from Carl Morgan in a game that has seen 2 huge ones from him already.
2nd and 14 here for the Yellowjackets as they await their play call. Under 10 on the play clock. We'll see if they get it off. They use a lot of motion here. Monteith.
Now have to burn a timeout as the play clock was down to 1 and they were not ready to snap the ball yet. That'll be their 2nd timeout of the half. So should they end up in a situation later on in the remainder of this half with only 5.5 minutes remaining that they would need one, well, they've only got 1 left. And this is a big, big spot right here. 2nd and 14. You responded well with some long yardage situations on your last try to finally get down and get the field goal. You want to reward your defense. Your defense that honestly is not the big thing to blame in this game. When 14 points essentially got tacked on them with nothing that they could do about it. Obviously some big plays since then. The bomb, the big conversion. That was all you know, after the catch by Roderick Brown. You need to reward your defense when they give you a big opportunity like this, and 35-10 would be a nice present, at least opening present.
Absolutely would. Monteith rolls out to his right, being chased down by Leiter. Leiter can't bring him down. He's got some time now, fires it downfield and can't find his man. Looked like he was looking for Jason Murphy, the freshman halfback, as another SAGU player is down on the field.
And Monteith just running for dear life here. Leiter almost with the shoestring tackle.
He wants that record.
He wants it bad. Lions player down is number 96, Darnell Martin. We've called his name a couple of times today with some great tackles right in the middle, but he is down and on his back right now. 2nd line we've seen go down in this game, both on defense. In the meantime, though, that incompletion does bring up a 3rd and 14. And if you're the Jackets, you saw in the last drive, you have a good kicker that can put the ball through, but you really don't want to miss this opportunity where you have a good drive that ends up stuck on just a field goal, and then a big defensive takeaway that you might have to settle for just 3 points. This is a time that you want to really cut in, get that first touchdown. But obviously it would all depend on what happens on this play, because I don't think you're going for it on 4th and 14.
Martin continues to lay motionless on the field. As we take a look at some of the first half stats here, Tim, walk us through some of these. It seems like it started out heavily in favor of the Lions, but Yellowjackets have battled back a little bit here everywhere other than scoring.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the total yardage, 213 to 141, that's not a 35-3 game, especially with the rushing yards. Look at Howard Payne already over 100 rushing yards in the game. As Martin does get to his feet, starts walking off, but the penalties, which we just pointed at, 7 for 59, and you know, while that's obviously 59 yards worth of penalties in the first half is bad, but it's much, much worse when you put it in context of the plays it's erased. It erased a touchdown, it erased another big first down, it's put you in some holes, and obviously it's one of those butterfly effect things, but it erased a good run that the very next play was your pick 6.
Monteith now 3rd and 14, rolling out to his right, chased down heavily. Elijah Pruitt jumped on the route, almost came away with an interception. And Monteith and the Yellowjackets now face a 4th and 14.
Back-to-back plays that Monteith has just been forced out to his right, running out of room on that sideline. You know, it's just so hard to thread the needle and get it right there. And they will opt to go for it this time. They chose to go for the field goal last time. It was only a 30-yard field goal last time. This would be much longer, more in the range of 41. So they are going for it on 4th and 14. Can they convert and help their defense out?
Play action, back to pass is Monteith. And he's got to take off again, rolling out to his right, Leiter in pursuit. Hucking it up towards the end zone, and it's out of bounds. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. No flags on the field, or there is a flag on the field about the 10-yard line.
That's in the area that might keep this drive alive.
Yep, and it is on the Lions.
Wow, what a gift from the Lions defense. And it's just going to be a defensive holding call. Those are some of the most brutal, because you're looking at a 3rd and 14, and a 5-yard penalty is going to give you the first down, although they're marking it down to the 16-yard line. So it's not a defensive holding call based upon the yardage that they gave them.
Monteith back in shotgun. Latson to his left. 4 receivers wide, 2 on each side. He's going to hand it off to Latson. He's going to make a nice cut, try to bounce it outside, and he is brought down quickly by Matt Williams. We've seen that a couple of times. The running backs for Howard Payne keep trying to bounce it outside.
And Monteith was asking the official if he could maybe get a penalty on that. He sells it so well that he gets hit, kind of gets shoved in the face mask, asking, hey, you know, I didn't have the ball, and I kind of got hit in the face mask on that. So great job selling the option play. Only picks up 3 yards, but did an excellent job. Typically you don't see it where the defender is so full that he'll risk making contact with the quarterback. And you got to be careful, because that can result in a penalty.
Up the middle this time, they give it back to Hunter Batten, finds his way onto the field. And he fights for everything he can get, and he doesn't gain anything.
It's the first time they've been able to wrap him up when he had his 4 consecutive runs on the last drive. That really, he was the whole story of that drive, getting them from the 33 down to the SAGU 30. And now right back to 3rd down for the Yellowjackets, 3rd and 7. I imagine this is 2-down situation here.
Monteith fakes the pitch, then thought about going up the middle, but nothing there, and he just kind of had to tuck his head, maybe try to avoid getting killed as he goes down. And that's going to be 4th and 12, 13.
I think Howard Payne dialed that play up a little bit too quickly after the last time. Marco Matthews is going to get credit for the tackle there, and he didn't sell the pitch quite as effectively as the last time. And I don't think if he had sold it, it would have mattered. The Lions were so quick to the backfield. Even if he had been pitching, it would have been a disaster. So now a 35-yard field goal attempt. And that's going to be good, but we will have a roughing the kicker call here.
No flag on the flag. I thought for sure it would have come out.
Wow. The field goal will remain.
The Lions are fortunate that didn't turn into a first down.
I believe. Unless, was I wrong? Was that good? It was good. Okay. It took our scoreboard a second to catch up here at the stadium. I had looked away because I was looking at the kicker down in the field. I thought for sure, now maybe he was blocked into him. Maybe he was blocked into the kicker. But for a second there, it looked like the Jackets had caught a 2nd straight huge break to keep a drive alive. Instead, after, about 4 minutes, a 4-minute drive that really only netted in the end around 10 yards. They went back and forth so many times. They get another field goal, but after a big offensive drive and a big defensive takeaway, when you look at the opportunity of, that could have been 35-14, and now you're still sitting there 35-6, not even a full touchdown's worth of points after those 2 big turns of events. But you're chipping away. You're still chipping away, and you've seen some very positive things the last 2 drives. You've at least stemmed the SAGU onslaught for the moment.
Walters to kick it. It's going to be a short one, fielded by the freshman Malik Golden. He's going to try to bounce it to the outside, and he gets stripped.
That's a fumble.
I can't see who has it. It looks like Howard Payne has recovered the fumble off the kickoff.
My goodness, what a play. As Golden just took forever to decide where to go, he just stayed standing still around the 15-yard line. gets wrapped up in just a textbook strip. We'll try to see if we can catch who caused the strip right here. Coming inside, that is number 22, Tevin Dawson. And the Yellowjackets are absolutely in business now. So I said on the last drive, no pressure on the SAGU offense, only to not turn it over. Well, there you go with an interception, now a fumble at the 15. And if you are the Howard Payne offense, you've got to punch this one in. No more field goals. You just go ahead and tell the kicker to stay on the bench. You don't kick a field goal on this drive with a chance to add to your score as another stunning turnover. I can't believe that one.
And here is Batten. He tries to take it up the middle and gets taken down for no gain. They look like they're going with the running back who's had some good success here early on.
Looked like Batten lost his footing in the backfield, though. Even if he had been able to stay up, I don't think it was going to matter, but it's no gain. Yeah, I mean, Kazon Monteith's got to find a way to make this a different drive. They've got to find a way to get this one in the end zone. Just around 2.5 minutes left here in the half.
3 receivers to his left. Monteith is going to go back to pass out into the flats. He's got his man, that's Justin Barrera, and he's going to have just shy of first down yardage down at the 6. 3rd and 1 here for the Yellowjackets.
Pass was a little bit high. He had to go up. I guess it wasn't as high on the replay. A little bit higher on the first play.
Good open field tackle by Elijah Pruitt.
And good job keeping them short of the first down, so now you still have a chance to potentially force them off the field.
Gonna fake the handoff, take up up the middle. He's gonna fight his way down to about the 2.
And that's 4 yards completely contested. He was wrapped up at the 6, kept fighting forward. 1st and goal at the 2 as the clock is under 2 minutes to play now. And Howard Payne maybe putting together the beginnings of a real surge here.
They're gonna hand it off to Batten. Is he gonna fall forward in the end zone? He will. The Yellowjackets score off the fumble on the kick return. And just like that, the momentum has shifted. It's still a 35-12 pending 13 game here.
But the momentum has absolutely shifted with back-to-back Lions turnovers, now about to lead to 10 points. So we've seen 4 turnovers in this game now result in 24 points. So you can definitely say both teams have taken advantage, at least almost perfectly, for the amount that they've been given. So now the Lions will have 134 left. And I think the main thing in your thought process right now is no more mistakes. No more mistakes. Just go ahead and get to the locker room now, as a 35-0 lead has been trimmed to 35-13, but it feels like a little bit more than that because the Yellowjackets have found their footing, because the defense has stepped up a little bit, because the offense now with Batten in the game, you haven't really found a consistent answer for him yet as he punches in from 2 yards out for the first Yellowjackets touchdown. I mean, because there's really 3 drives. If you're the Lions right now, you got to feel grateful that this is not a 35-21 game, because the Jackets have had the opportunity to do that. And a 35-21 game is just a straight-up ball game. 35-13, you still have to feel very good with the way this half has gone, but you are not happy with the way it is ending right now, as a little bit of intrigue has seeped back into Lumpkin Stadium, when it definitely felt like for a moment there that it could be a SAGU wire-to-wire route.
Here comes the kick from Walter. He's going to kick it again, and this is going to get past Golden and into the end zone, out of the back of the end zone. Going to be a touchback as the Lions come out to the 25 to try their hand here with 1:34 left in the first half, leading 35-13.
And now it's going to be an interesting strategy here, because you still have a couple of timeouts. You got plenty of time, and you've shown the ability to really put together big plays. But I think ultimately right now you just got to be very safe. I mean, I'd go ahead and just maybe hand it off. See, you know, you have Ricky Bickham in there. He can bust a big play or two. You don't just give up. You got 94 seconds left and 2 timeouts. You don't just make this a give-up drive, but be very safe here. No reason to let this rally continue.
They're going to hand it off to Bickham, and Bickham is going to break free, try to break it to the outside. Good block by Dodson. Bickham cross midfield, makes a man miss down to the 45, 44-yard line. and a big play to start this drive, and that's what the Lions needed.
That's exactly what they needed, because they are just kind of playing it safe. Hand it off to Bickham, see what can happen. Bickham rewards them immediately with around a 31-yard run down to the HPU 44. Now you're in business to get some of those points back.
Great downfield blocking by Bryant Dotson. Collins now to pass. He's looking across the middle. He's got his man, Jeremy Carr, for first down yardage. And just like that, the Lions are moving the chains down the field. 1:02 left to play.
Bickham and Carr, they've both had some really big plays in this game, and they come up big when the Lions need them right now. Clock is still ticking. You're under 50 seconds to play in the half now, and the Lions still have 2 timeouts. You got to wonder if you may start utilizing those pretty soon.
Collins fakes to Lowry, back to pass. Looking for Dotson, finds his big receiver. He breaks the tackle into the end zone. Bryant Dotson breaks 2 people off the tackle and almost stumbles his way into the end zone.
But there is a flag on the play. That was an epic touchdown. Going up to get that ball, breaking all those tackles, but it's getting erased. The penalty bug has now stung the Lions in the worst possible situation. 10 yards getting pushed back.
An absolute...
Love this play, though. Dotson going up. How does he break through these tackles? Somehow staying on his feet. Unfortunately, that one doesn't get to stay in the record books either. So the ball's pushed back out to the 40. 1st and 20 for the Lions. Now 35 seconds left to play.
Absolutely gorgeous throw by Collins. Fits it in between 3 guys to his big 6'5" receiver in Dotson. 1st and 20 now. 34 seconds left to play. Collins tries to get the screen pass. That's going to be a fumble. Howard Payne recovers as Collins tries to check it down to his running back, and it just slips out of his hand.
That is what we call a turn of events. Touchdown to make it 42-13, erased. Fumble. Howard Payne now has another chance to score as the Lions have turned the ball over 3 consecutive times. And yeah, that one just came out of Collins' hands. I'm gonna put my hand out here right now. No, it's not raining.
No.
It's not raining. I was checking. There's no ice. There's no ice, there's no rain. That just somehow found its way out of his hands. And with 29 seconds left and a timeout, this is when, if you're the Yellowjackets, you wish you still had a few timeouts left rather than just the one. But you have an opportunity to make this a 2-score ball game before the half.
We may see them air it out here. They have the wind at their back and 1 timeout. Monteith now is going to try to get it across the middle of the field, and he does. He finds his man, Eric Haverstock, and he's got the first down yardage. Clock stops after the chains move. So Yellowjackets are going to try to get to the line here and get as many plays off as possible. Clock moving again down to 15 seconds. Monteith now getting to the sidelines, finds his man Haverstock, and he gets out of bounds. Clock stops with 12 seconds left.
Big 5-yard gain there, but even bigger to get out of bounds. Now you have 1 timeout left here. So realistically, you have probably about 3 plays if you play your cards right. Of course, one of those may have to be a field goal. I would say you are in field goal range now for sure, for what you've seen so far from Jacob Walters. And you take that if you're the Yellowjackets. You take those 3 points.
Back to pass is Monteith. Going deep towards the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown! The Yellowjackets strike with 5 seconds left on the clock on a beautiful throw from Monteith.
Tariq Gray, there's triple coverage. The Lions just kind of seem to lose track of Tariq Gray, and the ball floats right into his hands. What a beautiful, this is the best throw we've seen from Monteith in the whole half. Airing it out. There are 3 Lions in there. It almost felt like a Hail Mary. Dropping in there, and with 5 seconds left, it is 35-20. Wow.
A 2-possession game here going to the half.
Wow.
And I feel like we're in for a good one here, Tim.
I feel like this is one of the biggest turns of events you can imagine in the first half. Really, the Lions did all their damage in the span of around 11 minutes between the 9:40-minute mark and around a minute into the second quarter. The Lions scored 35 points. In the last 6 or 7 minutes, thanks to 3 SAGU turnovers.
In a row.
In a row, the Yellowjackets have hung 20 on the scoreboard. I was saying a moment ago, what would a touchdown mean? A nail in the coffin? There's no coffins here. There are no coffins in this building. It is 35-20. As you imagine, the clock may run out here on this kickoff. As the Yellowjackets, I would imagine you probably opt to just kind of squib this here, run the clock out. Of course, the Lions with the wind at their face. Here, just a moment ago, when it was 35-6, we were talking about, well, just get the ball back, keep it safe, don't let the onslaught contender, then you fumble. Then it's 35-13, and you get that drive going. You get that drive going. You get down the field. You get the touchdown. You're about to go up 42-13. A holding call erases that. And this is absolutely a ball game now. There is no question that this is a ball game now. The Yellowjackets have scored 4 times here in the last 6 minutes of the second quarter. 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns, 35-20.
This game could easily be 35-27 as well.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Walters to kick off now, 5 seconds left, and he is going to kick it a little short. Golden having to field it about the 3-yard line, bringing it up, trying to cut it back towards the middle. He's going to be met there, and the clock is going to run out as SAGU goes into the locker room up 35-20, but we do expect to see a different Yellowjacket team here in the second half, Tim.
It's not usual that you're ahead 35-20 and the opposition sideline is leaving fired up. The Yellowjackets faithful who have traveled here to Waxahachie, they are on their feet saluting them as they leave the field, whereas the Lions crowd, little shell-shocked. I feel like a lot of people might have been thinking, well, all right, where are we going for dinner in the fourth quarter when we're rolling this one? This is not even close to over, and I do feel like we have an epic second half shaping up for us right now with the Lions now clinging to a 15-point lead.
I would love to dive into the head of Coach Tristan, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. Our sideline reporter, Kristen Urban, down there with Coach Tristan. Kristen, what's he have to say?
Thanks, Adam. Coach Tristan, what steps did you take preseason to prepare for tonight's game and for this season?
Well, the guys all spring and all summer, they've worked hard. You know, they've done a great job. I told them that before the game, you just got to, you know, you've sown the seed, now it's time to reap the reward. And they did it. It came up short, some silly plays at the end, but we'll be fine in the second half.
What adjustments, if any, will you be making in the second half?
Really, I think we just need to relax, and we tried to do too much at the end there. Just play. We made some mistakes and capitalized. That's football. You just keep swinging the hammer and go.
Thanks, Coach Tristan, and good luck tonight. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Kristen, and there you have it, trying to do too much there at the end of the first half.
And I really do think that's what it was, especially when you saw the kickoff return fumble. Just a little bit too much going on, trying to make too big of a play. That was where the first touchdown came, and that's where the onslaught really began as they score 14 points in the closing minutes. 35-6 isn't a problem. 35-20 is a pretty big problem.
We'll see how the Lions respond. They have the ball here to start the second half. Don't go anywhere. We're in for a good one here. 35-20, Howard Payne versus the SAGU Lions right here on the SAGU Sports Network.